Afternoon guys, assalamu alaikum, what's going on? Sorry I've had this video, in fact, just been editing it, and it's a video from about 4 or 5 days ago. So when you see this video, just been quite laxed, had a lot of stuff, and you don't always want to put up videos. Sometimes you guess it's not in the mood of making videos. So given Corona has been so depressing, so yeah, nothing really much people got. I think the biggest worry now is with Corona is that we're being subjected to these variants, the South African variant, the Kent variant, right now as of today. That's what the current news is, and what scientists are worried about is that they tested around 200,000 batches of the coronavirus, of this particular South African variant, or Kent variant if I can remember correctly, and out of the 200,000, 10 samples came back as resistant to either the vaccine or that people who were previously infected by the initial coronavirus, the original coronavirus, could be reinfected. So yeah, the South African variant is of concern, but the government have assured us that there's nothing really to worry about. The number of vaccines that we have will work against the variants. So yeah, I mean, look, it's some things will work. It's just that's like, look, engine oil. When you buy engine oil for a car, you might get a better quality engine oil. You might get an engine oil that may be economy, and you may need to put more of it in. I don't know, I'm not a scientist, I'm not going to start speculating on that, but you know, they have said themselves that, you know, mixing and matching is something that is not desired by the manufacturers of the COVID vaccines. We've got seven. This government, you know, given what we're being subject to, it's made a few mess ups, but I think in the broader scheme of things we should be forgiving. But I wouldn't vote for Boris Johnson. He is whatever he is. I mean, but I don't think he's done too badly in this whole thing. So benefit of the doubt, how would I have done it? How would you have done it? How would have Labour have done it if they would have been in power? Yeah, they've made U-turns, there's no doubt about it, but I don't want to turn this into some sort of like political sort of vlog, you know, some sort of political thing. Yeah, so that, I mean, it's depressing. The news is depressing. Hence, I hold back from putting stuff up. What I will probably do is to bring some comedy and some humour to the whole thing is definitely do a couple of review videos. I've been coming across some crazy stuff on YouTube. You know, of moped robberies and thefts, and you know, some pretty crazy stuff. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. So that may be my next video, possibly definitely do a review video on how some of these ignoramuses behave out there on the roads. You know, there's some funny videos out there. Yeah, but again, getting back to coronavirus, there's not really much more to report. Oh yeah, on a positive note, the number of deaths are falling. 19,000. I think these have been 2 following consecutive days where we've had like 500, 400 people die, which is never a great thing. But coronavirus mutation, just a news flash coming up from Sky. But yeah, we've had, you know, generally it starts to ramp up, so it's always worrying, always worrying. You know, midweek it starts to ramp up because you have the data issue on the weekends, and the reasoning the government used for this is that there's not enough people around in the hospitals to record the death rates, which is, I find that kind of peculiar. But yeah, because people are off on the weekends, hence you have the fall in the numbers of death. So we'll find out if at all this new variant is going to impact us, and you know, where we go from there as a nation, as a country. The EU made a blunder. Ursula von der Leyen, you know, immediately invoke Article 16 or 17 to veto exports. That power that they have. Come on. If we put our order in first, we got our act together first as a country to get the vaccines in, and as soon as they're authorized for use, then what's the problem? But I suppose there's a bigger, broader debate with regards to, what percentage of the vaccine should we send abroad to developing countries. The World Health Organization, that's another subject in itself. I found out recently that they only control 20% of their budget because they're state funded by countries throughout the world, and they've sent their scientists to Wuhan in China, Wuhan province, to the market where the first couple of cases of corona developed, and just from a little marketplace it spread. And what I found out is that they haven't got carte blanche. They're not free to go where they want, and pretty much they'll be restricted. China can veto where they go, what they see. So yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting, but if the World Health Organization want to paint a picture that they're beyond reproach and the investigation will be unfettered and impartial, don't take that. That's if you're state funded and you only control 20% of your budget, then what does that say about you? So I've got a mate who works for the World Health Organization at quite a high level. But yeah, it is what it is with the WHO. So at the end of the day, let's see where we go from here as a country. Just abide by the coronavirus regulations. We have had almost, I think, 89% of all over 70s and over 80s vaccinated. So that's great. That's just such good news. And it might be a direct result that we've had these fall, and plus obviously the country's in lockdown. And lockdown will work. It worked in the first phase, although it took a long time for the death rates to come down. This time the death rates, we assumed that they would take just as long as before, or even longer, to come down. Because with this virus, what it has is, and I'm only repeating what commentators have said and scientists have said, it has a very long slope, a tail, and it's still causing this. First time out was awful, and it's awful now as well. But what I don't agree with is that certain places have remained open and were closed on the first phase of coronavirus, which that was like beyond me. I don't understand why. So that should have been looked at. In the first phase, you had particular organizations and places remaining open, and in the second phase you've allowed them to stay open. Yeah, not really much more I can say. I should do hopefully a review video tonight, and warming up. One mistake I did make is I didn't warm up the other day. I thought I'd just go straight. It was that cold, and today I think the temperature's at least 12 or 13. It's one of those rare days in winter. Yeah, definitely warm up before you start smashing out the turbo train. It's always best to get your legs moving, get your heart rate slightly up. And there's nothing really much more I can say, guys. Always got to turn the camera off like this. Okay. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.